ready, 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 ready.
What's up, everybody? Thank y'all for joining me again. This is Sean P for the EssPea project, and as y'all can see, I'm having a pretty good evening tonight. I done worked all day and decided to go ahead and make a little small overview of some of my fishing reels that I use this time of year. Now, anybody who knows me knows I'm a fool with it when it comes to fishing. I fish every chance I get. I love buying the equipment. I love using it. And now, being that I have a camera and I start making YouTube videos, it's afforded me the opportunity to review some of them. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to start here on the right hand side. This is a Okuma Avenger 40 bait feeder. And I'm going to explain to you what a bait feeder is shortly here. This is a Okuma Trio bait feeder, and this is the 55, and a little bit larger is the Trio bait feeder 65. Now the only real difference between these two is size. I usually use this day to day when I'm out fishing, and it transitions well from fresh water to salt water, and this one the same, but I usually use this just because it feels like it gives me a little more power when I'm fishing salt water. So I do my surf fishing and big fish fishing with this, and these two are usually my run-of-the-mill everyday cover all my bases reels. Now I'm going to get into a little bit about what makes these bait feeders different from other reels and the subtle differences between this model and this model. Now I'm going to start with the differences between the two models, and the only real difference in them is the build quality. You know, it seemed this is a little more artsy. It took a little more time with the design, and this one, I mean, still has the metal barrel, aluminum handle, and so on and so forth, but things like the bait feeder, lever, and the housing, I just seem like they're a little bit less quality than the Trio. If you notice, this one has a graphite housing, aluminum bait feeder, lever, aluminum frame that's supposed to be corrosion resistant, and I haven't had any problems with it thus far, transitioning from salt water to fresh water and back. But usually anyway, in that circumstance, when I go fishing salt water with a reel that I've spent, you know, $100, $150, I usually wash it down with fresh water and let it dry completely before I store it. And I would suggest that to anybody. It also has carbon fiber inserts. I mean, this thing is just a piece of art, and I'm glad to be doing a little overview on it, because I never really found anybody, you know, that just had one in hand so you could see the proportions. It really got a good look at it to really compare the size differences of them. So I think this will do a lot of fishermen good, just having the ability, you know, to see somebody handle one. Next thing that I want to get into is these numbers and letters on the barrel. Now I don't usually get into all of the 4.5.1 8 to 26. I usually don't fuck with that shit, but in this case, because it was something that I didn't know what it meant, and I think I should share, is this 4.5 to 1. And 4.5 to 1 gear ratio is just saying that every time you turn this handle once, it's going to wrap around the barrel 4.5 times, and that basically equals your retrieve and how hard you're going to have to work to get the fish back to where you are. And as we say it where I'm from, the fish isn't caught until you get that motherfucker in the boat. The next thing I'm going to be covering is this little switch here on the reel. What this is the bait feeder mechanism, and you also have one on the Avenger here. What the bait feeder mechanism does is allow you to disengage the gears in such a way that when the fish pulls the bait, there is very little resistance, and supposedly he doesn't feel you attached to him when he takes off with the bait. Now that is a pretty cool thing. I have caught fish doing it. I really enjoy fishing in that manner. I've been trying to catch a damn stingray like Moby Dick for the last 5 years, and I finally caught one with this reel. The only problem that it presents is if you're used to fishing with a traditional reel, which I was up until last year, you usually set the damn hook when that big old catfish hit it or whatever, and then you start to crank them in. That's not the case with a bait feeder. With a bait feeder, you need to give this reel a turn to a turn and a half to disengage that mechanism before you set the hook. Otherwise, you're going to have a bird nest up here, which is a real pain in the ass. Believe you me, I've done it a many a time trying to learn the feel for this particular reel. Well, everybody, to close this thing out, and to all my fishermen, if you're tired of reels that you gotta replace every summer like I am, I would definitely give this the vote of approval to go out and check out. I'm sure you'll enjoy them for a many fishing season. This is Sean P for the EssPea project. Work hard, love hard, laugh hard, and life will be easier. I'm out.